Alright guys, we are going to be opening all of our computer parts and our components to show you exactly what I'm putting into my new rig. I thought about a lot of these parts and right now, since it is coronavirus, some parts are a little harder to acquire. So we did substitute things like the power supply with a still certified A Gold Plus, just not a name brand power supply. So I will be showing you all of these parts and opening the boxes and showing you what's inside. So first thing on the list is we have our Crucial Ballistics 300 megahertz RAM. It is RGB to go with our RGB case coloring. It all can be controlled via the motherboard. So I'll be able to control all the fan colors, motherboard colors, and the RAM RGB to change the colors. Next up is we have our Antec cable, sleeved cables for our wiring inside of our case. And I will go ahead and open these up for you and show you exactly the quality that we are dealing with. It's just the adapters. So they are very nicely colored white cables, very sturdy. And these will just make the case pop a lot more with our RGB, and we'll be able to choose our colors a lot more. And I went with a white case, so I want the cables to match and really go with it and pull everything together. The next thing we have is our Silverstone 700 watt gold, 80 plus gold power supply. Like I said earlier, the power supplies are kind of harder to find right now due to coronavirus. So we are going to substitute this one in, and from what I read on the reviews, it runs just fine, just like any other name brand power supply. So it should work just fine for our rig. Next thing we have is our Asrock Be 450M Steel Legend with RGB on it because I am an RGB freak and I love it. It is a AM4 chipset motherboard, so it will run our Ryzen 7 that we got to go along with it. And I'll go ahead and open it up here, and you know, they come with basic guides and stuff, all the cabling and necessary components, because it is nicely packaged. Actually, I like that they actually put it around foam. So this is going to be our motherboard. I went with a micro ATX setup for a more clean computer look instead of a regular ATX motherboard. So it'll make it look nice and smaller in the cable management. I'll be able to do a lot more cable management with it, and it'll look a lot better in the long run. Everything goes over here. Now it's gonna look a little cramped, I'm sorry. Next thing we have is our Amd Horizon 7. This thing is an 8-core 16-thread processor that is very comparable to the Intel i9. It is just barely below on performance as far as games go, which is what I'm going to be doing primarily with my rig. I have never used AMD before, but from everything that I've heard, this thing is a monster, and it will make my computer run smooth while I stream on Twitch. And last but not least, we have our Corsair H115i closed loop CPU cooler, RGB of course. And this is going to be just making everything run nice and smooth, keeping a cool temperature while we're running all those processes. We're going to be running Twitch, YouTube, we got to run Spotify for music, we got to run Discord, and our games. So this is going to keep everything nice and cool for that. I'm going to go ahead and open this up for you so you can see how it works and what it does. It's pretty simple. I'm installing it on my particular rig. I'm installing it in the top of the case because that's just the best place to put it for the cooling, and it already has front fans. So I'm going to set it so intake, outtake. All right, so we're going to open this bad boy up. If I can figure it out. The work box. Goes like that. Ooh, okay, so that's the top. Open her up. Warranty, which I will set up. Just a basic guide to help out. And here we have our huge cooler.
So these are our nice large. Let's see what size are these. They don't have the size. ML 140 Pro RGB PWM high performance band. That does not give me the size. So sorry about that. But and we got a big boy in here. This is our closed water loop. It already has everything ready to go, looped up, and it's our big beautiful radiator that will be going up the top with the fans. And this is our massive copper-based CPU cooler. So this will be going right in the middle as our wonderful piece and RGB, of course. Thank you guys so much for coming by and watching me open up all these parts that are going to go into my new rig. These are all going into my rig for my 365-day streaming challenge, and I hope you guys get to come along for the whole ride and see how much growth can be obtained from being consistent. Thank you so much, and our next video will be us putting everything in and building the rig. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Alright guys, thank you so much for coming and watching me open up all these parts that are going into my computer.